TSF Entertainment.
Yo, 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 and welcome back to TSF Entertainment. This time we are bringing you Raising Kanan Season 4, Episode 2, exclusive picks and predictions. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Episode 2, synopsis says, with the federal task force seemingly behind them, Kanan and Rock navigate a new business relationship just as Unique begins to plot his quest for revenge. Meanwhile, Lou considers a new music opportunity. Marvin goes too far on a side job for Stefano, and Juke tries to adjust to life in the army. So here in this first pick here from episode 2, we see none other than Kanan and Crystal. And we see they are here at Cafe Vu. Now the question is, why are they there? Possibly they could just be out on a date, just having a good time, or we could see them watching. As we know in this episode, we get the new character B Rilla that Lou's going to take a liking to. So it could be here where they are watching B Rilla perform as he got out of jail. Here we see Stefano and none other than Rock. As we saw from the trailer for episode 2, they were kind of going back and forth. So I'm thinking here they're discussing product, as Rock tells Stefano that she can't go anywhere else. So I'm thinking Rock is now trying to get more product from Stefano, but Stefano is very hesitant to supply her with that due to the federal task force that Rock got heat from, as we saw in the last episode. Here we have Marv, and we already know from the synopsis where it says that he will go too far on a side job for Stefano. So we already know here that Marvin is going way too far, and he's probably going to maybe either unalive or hurt, and it's a mob boss or a made man that Stefano had him do a job for. Here we have Jukebox. And from this picture right here, as we can see, Juke just looks defeated. Now, this could be one or two ways. This could be before she goes to basic training. As we know, she goes to basic training in this episode. And here she could be trying to decide whether or not she should go. It also possibly could be after basic training where she decides to quit, as basic training was just way too much for her. And here, as I stated before, we know she goes to basic training. And I think in basic training is where she realized that it might just be too much for her. Here we have Kanan and none other than Detective Garcia. In the preview, Captain Batiste says he wants the case closed, and he tells Detective Garcia to close it. So Detective Garcia hits the streets and comes across Kanan. Now the question is, why is he coming across Kanan? It also looks like that he roughed Kanan up a little bit, but the question again is, why did he rough Kanan up? Possibly could be he's trying to close the case, as far as, with the whole federal task force thing. He's trying to see, what Kanan's got going up his sleeve next, probably scaring him or trying to possibly beat some information out of him. And it possibly also could be that he's asking about Famous. So we know last season, Famous got in trouble for unaliving Freddy as his mom found the gun. So it could be here Detective Garcia is questioning Kanan as to where is Famous whereabouts. Here we have Kanan and Crystal again. We saw in the last episode, Crystal gave him a little bit of ideas, as well as trying to help him with his business, as we saw one of his workers complaining about the money. So here it could just be that she's just giving him more advice on how to move the work and run the money through his business. This episode we get introduced to a new character whose name is OC. OC is a whiz with numbers, and he will be Kanan's lieutenant with the business. So this episode here, we finally get an introduction to a new character whose name again is OC and will be Kanan's lieutenant. Here we have Kanan and Rock, and we know that they are already talking to Snaps and Pops as we saw on the trailer for the season. I'm thinking here is where Snaps and Pops lets him know, like, hey, you're back out there. You still gotta break us off a piece of your profits, which Kanan doesn't have. He doesn't like at all, just from the look on his face. So thinking here, this is where they're still saying, like, I know Ronnie is gone, but you still owe us. So while you still out there working the streets, you still will be giving us a cut of all your profits. And in this scene here, as we all saw, he is arguing back and forth with none other than Rock. And Rock tells him, I can get, you not loving me, not wanting anything to do with me, but I need to know that I can be able to work and trust my partners. Here we finally get introduced to B-Rilla. B-Rilla is a rapper, as I stated before, that Lou will take a liking to. We know in this episode that Lou gets out of rehab with a new fulfillment in his life. So Lou will also be working with Low Street Records, and I believe this will be his first signing as B-Rilla as an artist to the new Low Life Records. I'm sorry, Low Street Records. Here we have Rock and her attorney, Andre Barnes. Now, what could they be talking about? That is what I don't know. It could be possibly that Andre Barnes is hearing some rumblings that the federal task force is going back at it again, and could be possibly looking at her family once again. As we know, they were already looking at Marvin, so it could be after that job that goes wrong that Marvin does, the heat is turned back up on them, and the federal task force is looking for them. And here we have none other than Unique, who we already know. Unique this season will be out for revenge. Looks like right here he's doing more recon. Could be possible that he's following Rock, maybe even Marv, or he's watching the Chinese restaurant to try to figure out how to take it back or possibly rob it, as we've seen from the trailers that he robs a warehouse this season. So y'all let us know what you think. Drop your predictions down in those comments on those pictures that you just saw.